So we're kind of squishing it in to get it out.
Yeah. Sounds so weird.
Yeah, don't edit that out of context.
No, I'm going to put that as the pre-show opener.
Yeah. How would like an old-timey podcast work? It's just a radio, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's literally what
What's
this
an
is.
old-timey podcast? I wonder what that is. I can't remember.
Well, I mean, a really old-time podcast, just talking.
Yeah, is it just like standing on a stage and just talking to... I don't think that ever happened, did it really?
No. But I mean, it's just a conversation.
It is, isn't it?
It's what we used to do before we started this. And then now, whenever we say things to each other, we're like, nope.
Nope.
Don't
on
talk.
the podcast.
Save it.
Mm-hmm. Are we recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go? Should we go?
Mm-hmm.
Hello and welcome to another week of Two Sheep in a Pool. My name's James.
And my name's Ben.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
So, I've got a thing for you. Have you heard of ASMR?
Mm-hmm. You were straight in this week.
Because this... I've seen the videos and I've been touched in a way that I've not enjoyed.
Okay.
So...
Not literally, I hope.
No, not literally. What is your opinion of ASMR?
It doesn't do anything for me.
No. So if you don't know what ASMR is, it stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response.
Obviously.
And it's basically where people whisper down microphones and it makes you feel a bit weird. So they kind of do that kind of thing. And I don't know how many videos of this you've seen, but there's one that was kind of circulated that I want you to watch, and I want you to describe to the people what you're seeing. Okay, so I'm going to send it over now.
Go on. Send it on Facebook so I can open it on here. Okay. Oh, God, what the hell is this?
Yes. So, can you, for the people at home, can you read out what the title is?
ASMR, squiggly line, police woman emoji, police car emoji, sassy, all in caps, police officer, / cop.
Okay. Play. See what you think about this then.
Now let me get the volume. I'm already hating it.
So who's doing this ASMR?
A girl dressed in a really bad police uniform.
Yes.
She looks about 17 as well. She looks really young.
She's like 12.
Is she?
Yeah, she's really young. Like,
this has just made it so much weirder.
yes. How uncomfortable does that make you feel?
Now she's just clicking her nails on a window.
Yeah. So the idea is basically she's pulled somebody over and doing some weird ASMR with it. What does this kind of remind you of? Like, why is this so weird?
Well, it's made it even weirder because you just said she's 12 and she's dressed in what looks like the start of a porn.
Yes.
Kind of low-cut police top in like a glittery blue. This is horrible.
This is disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now tell the world how many subscribers they've got.
Oh my God, I'd not noticed this. 1.1 million subscribers, 2 million views, 52,000 upvotes, 9,000 down. That's insane.
What a weird world we live in. Yeah? Who as a parent looks at that and thinks, yes, my 11-year-old child is going to dress up in an attire that is just not...
I'm just going to close this down now.
Yeah. Get this off my system before
I feel I need to clear my search history after that.
Yeah, I feel like they're using the word sassy there
as a replacement for
like sexy, and it's just weird. But it's run by her mum. Her mum helps record all these different things, which
that's even worse.
Yeah. So, and halfway through, you didn't get that far.
Yeah.
But one of the lines is, she's like, Paul, this is...
I'm just going to stop you. We've got some ASMR background rain effects going on. That's really loud.
Do you think you can hear it?
If people can hear it raining, it's raining.
Yeah,
can't edit it out.
If you can't, we'll just edit this whole part out.
Yep.
She basically goes, Paul, this, and points to herself and back to this guy, Paul. It's it's never gonna happen. I've got to get back to my Tinder date. So what is this script that she's working with? Who has written that for her? Why does she know what?
I mean, presumably either her or her mum, if she's the one that's
horrific.
That's awful. Why on earth did you show me this?
because I wanted to see. This is just you. I want to get your opinion on it. See what it was like. It's just terrible, isn't it?
Well, my opinion is bad.
Yeah. So
it's down.
So does ASMR do nothing for you then? Like generally, I mean that's terrible ASMR.
It was introduced to me from. I feel like he's become a weekly fixture, and I've not seen him in ages. Ben that I've been friends with for ages.
Yeah.
He was doing sound tech at uni. And one of his final projects, he got into like binaural audio, which was kind of like surround sound in your ears type thing. It was like a microphone that's supposed to record in the way that your ears listen.
Okay.
And obviously, like ASMR was the main use of people using these mics because it like got right in your ears.
Yeah.
He was like, "Show me how it works," and I was like, "This is horrible."
Yeah.
But I know. I mean, the idea is cool. Like the stuff he was doing wasn't ASMR.
No.
But he just kind of got onto that because of the way the mics were used. But not good.
No, I've never had that feeling. Like I've seen a few of these and it's never had an effect on me other than this is a bit weird and creepy.
Like, tingly.
Yeah, and it's supposed to like start in the middle of your head and like work as a feeling down your body. But it does absolutely nothing for me.
Nah.
No.
0 out of 10. Would not recommend to a friend.
Should you watch it?
No.
No.
No. Have you got anything else for... We're not even on news yet, are we?
We're not even on news.
I've noted this down, but it's not really news.
Go
so
on.
I just thought I'd say it now.
Yeah.
So I went down south for a few days recently.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Birmingham. And we're in Liverpool, obviously, most of the time. So I'm sure you'll have the same thing, that it's ingrained in you. The Sun is bad. The newspaper, The Sun.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant just being in the north. The sun's
no,
bad.
no.
What's that bright thing in the sky? I don't know what it is.
Well, I mean, that too.
Yeah.
No, but the Sun, the newspaper, like, you couldn't find it here.
Oh, no, you'd get
even
spit
if you
and
wanted
kicked.
to.
Yeah.
And it just really jars me when I was getting a coffee from somewhere and walked in and there was someone at a table reading The Sun. And, like, I immediately, like, kind of, like, looked around like, oh, my God, they can't be doing that here. They're going to get, like... And then I realised, no, we're not in Liverpool. I forget that it's a thing. Like,
yeah.
Part of me just, like, recoils whenever I see it now. I'm like, ugh.
I think it's, like, a lot of people don't know the issue that Liverpoolians have with
I really wanted to go over to the woman and be like, you can't be reading that here.
Yeah, no, like when I've been at the supermarket and we would get the papers in, they would just get, like, the Sun would just get removed.
Do they still deliver them to...
So not anymore.
I was going to say.
No, but, like, when I first started, they would deliver the Sun and people would just be like, no, I'm not selling that. Like, we'd just either send it back or just hide it and, like, no one would buy it. And then if, like, people asked for it, they'd be like, who are you? And what are you doing here?
Mm.
But, like, you know, if you're not a Scouser, you might not know. I didn't know until I came. And
no, neither did I.
It was kind of announced. I think the campaign to get rid of the Sun has become more over the last few years.
Yeah, it spread to, like, Manchester. Is it, like, travel things? I'm sure there's, like, bus stations and train stations have stopped it now in Manchester.
Yeah, there's quite a lot that despise it. And for those that don't know, basically, when the Hillsborough disaster happened, with all the Liverpool fans dying, the 96 that died, the Sun reported that the Scousers were stealing off dead bodies and no one was, and it was all their fault and no one was helping out. And basically it's come out that it wasn't any of the Scousers' fault. It was kind of like the police faults, and that was the hearing. And the Sun's apologised over the years, but the Scousers don't buy the Sun, so I don't know how they would have seen that apology.
Plus, I mean, just general headlines.
Oh, they're just terrible.
They're just terrible in every, Anyway, that wasn't really anything interesting. I just wanted to see if you'd found that outside of Liverpool.
Yeah. It's kind of an adverse reaction to it.
Yeah.
It leads well into the news.
Oh, it's time for the news.
So this week, since we last spoke, the one of the big news that I kind of saw was that weed has been legalized in Canada.
How I missed that?
Yeah, it's been totally like decriminalized, and those that have been put in jail for it have had their criminal convictions overturned, and they're coming out of jail, and it's like you can just smoke it anywhere.
Right.
But you No, you can't do it around schools and parks and stuff like that where there's kids.
Yeah.
But it's allowed to be smoked recreationally.
Ah.
So what do you think about that?
I feel like I'm not even in a position to comment, really. I've never smoked weed,
No.
apart from one time, unknowingly.
Unknowingly?
It was genuinely unknowing. I mean, this sounds like a story that I'm making up to, like, tell a parent, but it genuinely was... we were at a house party when we were, like, 16, 17, and there was shisha.
Right.
And I think I said to someone, I was interested in trying it, but I was like, oh, what's in it? And they were like, oh, it's just water vapor with, like, a flavour, basically. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I didn't even find out until, like, last year when I saw the person again. They were like, oh, yeah, there was loads of weed in it. But it didn't do anything for me, so...
No, well, I think Liverpool as a city, kind of the smell I get as I walk around the city is of weed.
Yeah, it's pretty fruity everywhere.
Yeah. And I feel like if legalization came to the UK, I feel like Liverpool wouldn't change that much.
No,
although
I
feel
to say the same thing.
Yeah, I think there would just be weed shops everywhere.
Yeah, it'd just be like the way that vape shops have popped up everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It'll just be like that everywhere.
Yeah, but it's not all been good.
Oh.
Good news in Canada.
Oh, no.
So after 2 days of being legalized, Canada ran out of weed.
That's impressive.
They just smoked it all. It's just gone. One store mislabeled a cannabis genital spray as an oral product.
Hang on, what?
So there was like a spray, I think, as like a medical thing to spray on your genitals, and they mislabeled it as an oral product. So someone's either like spraying this in their mouth, getting a horrible taste of genital product.
That's lovely. Go Canada.
Yeah.
Have they restocked on weed now?
I think so. I think it's all going good.
Good.
So I think they'll get quite
very
big.
happy for them. No, I'm not opposed to it. I think if it got legalized here, I'd be more happy than not.
Yeah, I think it's been shown to work. That decriminalised and it is good.
Yeah.
You can tax it, you can regulate it, and you can go from there. Really.
Yeah.
And I think medical marijuana is not even allowed in the UK. They've had that story recently with.
I find that strange.
Yeah. Do you know who the biggest exporter and creator of medical marijuana is in Europe? It's us, the UK.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
but it's not legal here.
Yeah, you can't use it here, but we grow it and export it.
Oh, it seems really backward.
Yeah, I think Theresa May's husband is in that business.
Right.
Yeah. So take from that what you will.
Yeah. I suppose it wouldn't really affect me either way, but
no.
Go for it. I mean, I feel like it's not even that different as what it is to alcohol.
No.
I'm not saying legalize coke or heroin, but weed. Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you the same way that you don't let young people drink alcohol, or you try and stop that, the same way I think it's...
No, I'm not saying legalize it for toddlers.
But if you can, allow 18, you make the own decision to smoke some weed, I think how is that a bad thing? It doesn't hurt anybody else, really. Alcohol's much more destructive drug.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have you got any news? What news have you got?
I thought I'd written down a few. I've got one with a link that I meant to send you. It's not really that right. It's not a trailer. It's another bit of DC movie news.
Oh,
Wonder Woman's been delayed.
Oh yes, I think I saw this
into next year. I think it was maybe I should have written this down. Maybe like a 4 or 5 month delay.
Yeah, it's like June, isn't it? Like that. It's something much later on.
We've said this before. My hype levels for DC have just disappeared, so I don't even care at this point.
Just dead on the ground. It can get delayed forever. It falls on it as long as I care.
Wonder Woman's the only one that I've seen from DC and enjoyed and thought was good. Mm-hmm. So it's a shame that this one's been delayed, and hopefully it doesn't mean anything bad for it.
Doesn't impact it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one.
That's that.
What about? Did you see the story about Grandma's cookies?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, so there was a news story.
This was a news story.
This was a news story. Yeah. So
not your grandma's cookies.
Not my grandma's cookies.
And not my grandma's cookies.
Not your grandma's cookies. But it was this.
Then who?
This child in America had cooked some cookies that contained the ashes of her grandma or his grandma. I don't know if it's male or female. and took them into school, and people ate them in school. So that's why I'm calling them grandma's cookies, because
I don't know what I was expecting, but that took a morbid turn.
Yeah, so like, who comes up with that idea?
I was hoping when you said that it was a mistake. I don't know how that mistake happens. Like, they're cooking in the kitchen, turn around, ashes accidentally fall in, and he turns around and just carries on. I don't really know how it could have been an accident, but he did that as a plan.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So at least 9 high school students have allegedly consumed a classmate's dead grandma after they were unwittingly fed biscuits baked with her ashes. I like how they had to put in dead grandma there. Got part way through. She was still alive. She was still alive in the cookies.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. So one schoolgirl allegedly made the cremation cookies is reported to have handed them out to fellow students in California.
How was it discovered? Did someone go, this tastes a bit grandma's ashy? Or did they hand them a cookie, wait for them to finish and go, oh, did you like that? My grandma's in there. And she's dead, by the way.
No. I like to think someone's like, I've made grandma cookies before. This tastes like human remains. And they've like then gone and reported it. Like, I don't know how this has become a news story without someone either telling them. I remember reading somewhere that they'd done it and people knew and then still ate the cookies.
Yeah.
So like just to try out.
Just curiosity.
Yeah.
What is the world coming to? We've just watched a 12-year-old dressed as a policewoman trying to be provocative, and there's 2 million people watching that.
Yeah.
And now someone's feeding their dead grandma to people. Mm-hmm. It's not a world I want to be in.
What if those cookies were delicious? Like, what if the key to the most delicious cookies is dead grandma?
I don't want to even register that as being a possibility, so ignore it.
Like, I wonder if she went through like different iterations. Like, oh no, too much grandma in that.
Maybe that's what it was. She was thinking, I want to make the perfect cookie, and she's been making 5 batches a day and testing it. And she was like, it's just missing something. Mm-hmm. And then she had a light bulb moment when she turned and saw the ashes,
saw the urn,
and thought, that's it.
Or maybe she's going through like grandma's recipe, and at the bottom's just like, and then just a little bit of me, and just like do you know what I mean? Like, it can only be created by grandma, and she's like took that really literally, like,
yeah, she's taken like the blood, sweat, and tears kind of idea and really run with it.
Yeah. So I just think, what a world we're living in.
What a world. Well, I've not got any more news to offer. I'm being useless this week, but I wrote down an episode idea that I was going to run by you off mic, but I'm just going to stick it here.
Okay.
Doctor Who. Are you a fan? Have you?
I've not watched it in a very long time.
Yeah. Have you watched it?
I have watched it, yeah.
What's your Doctor Who history?
I watched from the beginning of the new regeneration.
So Christopher
Eccleston, up until kind of Matt Smith.
Okay.
And then I didn't really watch any of the Peter Capaldi stuff.
Okay, cool. So we've roughly watched the same then. I think I got sick of it like a few episodes in with Capaldi. There was the Robin Hood episode where he was like firing a golden arrow at a spaceship from miles away, and I was just like, last straw. This has got too ridiculous.
I can no longer suspend my disbelief.
Yeah, I think I kind of got bored of it for ages, but it was just one. You know, when you're watching something, you're like, it's a chore. You feel like you've got to keep watching it. So anyway, I stopped watching then, but then there's now a female doctor. There is. That has caused much uproar among many people.
Yes, among sexists.
Yes.
The doctor can't be a woman. Why? Because it's never been before.
But they've even said they've established in the show that he could regenerate as female.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was it was a joke. He was kind of like, he just prefers not to do it.
Yeah.
But it's a thing. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I've heard that it's good. I was going to suggest, do we want to watch it and kind of do an episode on it?
We can do. Yeah, and talk through and see what we think. Cool. Yeah? I'm happy to do something like that.
Amazing.
Try it out. You coming in your ears soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's everything for the news.
Is that all the news?
Yeah, and the news bleat. Oh my God, my voice is gone. No, I don't know who I am anymore.
Right, are you back to normal now?
Yes, I think so.
Because just before we turned those mics on, you were rambling some stuff.
I was talking some nothingness. So, I seen you got... Are we recording?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I see you've got the new Red Dead.
I have.
Red Dead Redemption 2. Is it any good?
It seems really good.
Yeah.
It's now 1 o'clock on the Friday that it came out
Yeah.
at midnight. So I've only played maybe 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we just had a little look then, like 10 minutes worth.
Mm-hmm.
It looks beautiful.
It does.
The snow and the footprints and everything looks really good.
Yep.
I had a 5-minute play, and the most devastating part is I ran over a rabbit.
You did. It was pretty sad.
And it squealed at me. It was very sad.
So that like little bit is part of. I mean, it's hard to kind of see the whole game when you've just played 5 minutes, but like the attention to detail is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, you know, with most games, it's kind of like an element of like clunkiness that you just kind of accept. Like it doesn't seem to be there. Like everything that you do does what you'd expect it to. Like we were hunting in the game, and like you had to kill a deer, and like you brought it back in to like the place that you're staying, and it's really cold there, and you put it on the floor, and you can still see kind of like the steam kind of like coming off the dead carcass, which sounds like horrible, but it's just like
attention to detail. That's what it would look like. Yeah.
Like,
well, because there was that thing in like the trailer and stuff about the horse testicles. And, like they've animated the horse's balls just swinging, and like I saw a thing that was like, oh, doing the main storyline. No. What you want to do is run to the snow and watch the horse's testicles shrink, because that's the most important thing about the game. And I saw a picture where someone had done the classic thing of they had drawn a large penis in the snow on the game. Obviously. But because the footprints and everything are like seem really accurate from what like just then they were riding a cart, and it was like the tire tracks and that looked like spot on. It was so cool.
It's crazy. The other thing is like the way that the characters all react just in the open world when you're not doing dialogue that's set is like they feel a lot less like NPCs and like actual people.
Other people.
Like there's just conversations that happen, and the way the dialogue, like there's a bit of dialogue in one of the scenes earlier where you're kind of like bantering with one of the other characters, just kind of like having little digs at each other, and then one of the other characters just kind of gets sick of it, and they just kind of step in and like, okay, shut up. And it's just like little things like that. It's like
that's cool.
They react in like really cool ways.
Yeah, and the other cool thing that I saw from what I just watched then was like this. They call it cinematic mode or something like that, where it's like so. Ben was just playing it there, and they were kind of just like riding through the countryside, and rather than having to control your horse all the way through, you put like this cinematic mode down, and it just kind of like takes like what feels like camera shots of you just cycling.
There's no bikes yet.
Cycling your horse. Gotta get them spokes going. Riding your horse through the snow, and like it felt like it was a cutscene, but it just wasn't. It was just like that's how you put it in cinematic mode. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we've not played that much, but if it carries on like this, and I think it's meant to get better, like it's gonna be good. I'm looking forward to. Apparently, you can in real time your character's facial hair and hair will grow.
Okay.
Like if you go off into the wild for like a week in game, he'll come back with a big beard, and you can apparently shave the character, so you could do any crazy beard patterns you want. And,
it sounds like in Witcher that happens. In Witcher 3 they do that. I might get it. How you got it on the PS4, didn't you? So I can't even borrow it from you if you're done with it. Gosh dang it!
Sorry.
That's fine. So yeah, I might end up getting that and giving it a go. But I feel like that will be a time sink for me.
Yes.
So I'm gonna try and avoid that until I get the business going,
and then we'll do an episode on it.
Yeah. On Red Dead or the business.
Both.
It's
gonna be a weird mix. Cool. Let's move on. What are we talking about today?
So we kind of had the idea of talking about talking about drugs from earlier, doing a bit of alcohol stories and how alcohol has maybe affected our daily life. Sounds like we're alcoholics.
It really does.
Yeah, well, stop drinking that whiskey now, Ben.
Well, I really wanted to do this episode after drinking a load, but I mean, we started recording this at about 11 in the morning, so probably best not.
And we've this is coming out a little bit later, isn't it? Than we're recording basically a week later than we thought
that's
we were
my
going to.
fault. I was away.
So we're kind of squishing it in to get it out.
Yeah. Sounds so weird.
Yeah, don't edit that out of context.
No, I'm going to put that as the pre-show opener.
Yeah. So, should we start with, like, what kind of alcohol do you drink then?
Why don't we, before we even do that,
Okay.
Alcohol, thumbs up or thumbs down? Is it good?
Are we talking personally or for society?
There's no context. Is it good or bad?
I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
Cool, I think I will as well.
Yeah. But I think it's not for everybody. I think some people can have an adverse reaction to alcohol and they should not drink.
Yep.
But I enjoy it. I don't take it to the extremes very often. So it's everything in moderation, isn't it?
I feel like I know a couple of what your stories are going to be. I've just thought, do they involve bikes?
One might involve a bike.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Right, what should we start with then?
What kind of stuff do you drink then?
I drink a lot less now than I used to. Mm-hmm. To be honest, I enjoy most drinks. The one that I can't drink is vodka, and I'm not a huge fan of gin, although I'm warming to that more and more.
When you say you can't drink vodka, as in like you don't do shots, or you can't have like
just vodka. It was
in anything.
I mean, we'll come to it later with stories, but vodka. I'd say my drinks of choice would be most beers, maybe like a kind of a pale ale. That would be my favourite.
Yeah. Have we gone full hipster? You know, like
full hipster
can I get an IPA, 8.4%, and it comes in like
I drank ales before it was cool, so I'm going with that, and whiskey as well.
Yeah, I think we both enjoy a nice Scotch. I think you prefer a bourbon, don't you? Bourbon?
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't really know.
I
know that I like it. I'll just drink. I know what I don't like. I can taste if it tastes like burning and bad.
Yeah.
And I can taste if it's nice, and that's about as much as I can. Mm-hmm. I know. Could you give definitions of bourbon, whiskies, whiskey with an E, whiskey without an E?
All these different things. Whiskey with an E is from Scotland.
Yeah. See, right, you're pausing now, because I know the differentiation, but I don't know which is which.
I'm going to Google it. Welcome to the section where we Google things.
I feel like this is a reoccurring segment that happens too often. Which is which? Which is the Scottish one?
So Scottish is without an E, and Irish spell whiskey with an E.
Right.
But I think all kind of American whiskey has an E in.
Yeah.
Whereas most Scotch whiskey has no E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder which of right, because Japan has become a big whiskey maker.
Yeah.
And various other places have kind of hopped on board. What do they do about the E? Do they keep it?
Well, I don't know if you've seen the Japanese language, but they don't use the letter E at all.
Well, surely they translate it into English.
No.
Otherwise, you'd have British people walking into shops and being like,
speaking
what
Japanese.
What the hell is this?
I think if it depends if they're going for a Scotch or a non-Scotch, I would imagine.
Okay.
But I think maybe maybe in the UK it's only you have to have the E unless you're from Scotland.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like the ruling or not. But I've enjoyed quite a few Japanese whiskies.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
Would it be fair to say that one of them is even your favourite?
Yes. I would say Nika from the Barrel is very nice. Comes in a very nice square bottle.
Yeah. Whiskies do have a lot of nice bottles.
Yeah.
In fact, just drinks have a lot of nice bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like bottles.
I like bottles.
Oh, you like bottles? I do.
Yeah, I think the thing is with the whiskey though is unless you're looking at the bottle and think, oh, it's a nice looking bottle. That's how unless you know what it tastes like, you just kind of go off the look and you can't really. Yeah. You don't go into Morrison's and be like, I'd just like to do a taster of your whiskies.
That'd be great though.
It would be great.
Yeah.
But the problem with whiskey is you only drink it a little bit at a time. Yeah. So That's kind of just a full drink, isn't it?
I was looking for if I had kept any nice bottles, and I don't think I have. But I've got an empty decanter over there, so it's reminded me I need to go and get more whiskey.
Need more whiskey. Yeah. So no, I tried Neek from the barrel. From
the barrel.
Yeah, from the barrel. From the barrel in town. No, Blind Tiger in town.
Yep.
Yeah. So I used to go there like all the time. I lived just around the corner from it.
It's dangerous, that.
Yeah, but it's not a cheap bar. But like when I was single, that was my go-to date place.
Yeah.
I took maybe like 6 or 7 girls there.
Yeah. At the same time.
No, not at the same time. I'm not that much of a player. So, and just have them sit around a table like in a meeting. Like, well, do you know why I've brought you here today? You're going to audition to be my girlfriend. No, but I ended up knowing the bar guy there. And every time he was just like, Nick from the barrel, and then I'd be like, yeah, and then another drink, and then just like something else. And I ended up just getting a couple free drinks from there. Enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good.
You know that you've gone to a place too much when they know your order before you do it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And then when I'm going like a different girl, I thought they were going to start like dobbing me in, like, you got another one of you. Like,
I mean, I'd hope that they'd know better than that.
Yeah, they were quite good.
Is that still your favourite like bar in Liverpool?
I've not been to it in ages. I've not been out to a bar in a while.
We're getting old now.
We are getting old. I quite like Brewdog's.
Yeah, Brewdog's good. What's your opinion on Berry and Rye?
I don't think I've been.
Have you not been?
No.
We should have done this episode in there.
Is this...
It's the tiny little... If you didn't know it, you wouldn't know it was there. It's completely blacked out, no signs, and you have to knock on the door, and then the guy lets you in.
Yeah.
And it's tiny. It can only seat maybe 20 people.
Yeah, every time I've knocked on, they've just come and gone, nah,
it's amazing.
Very exclusive.
I think that's my favourite place. They do an incredible... this might be my favourite drink, actually. It's whiskey based. It's basically an old-fashioned, but with kind of a bit more of an orangey base. It's called a Volstead Act.
Okay.
I think it's exclusive to there. I might be completely wrong in saying that. It's probably like a popular drink, but no, it's good there. We should go.
Yeah. So have you got any good stories that you want to tell the world?
Good, bad. I mean, reflecting badly on me, but probably entertaining.
You've got stories anyway.
Have you got some? I know you've got a couple.
I got a couple of stories, yeah. Should we start off light?
Let's start off, because mine... Well, this is the answer to the question I'm going to ask. What do you have like a bad first time you got drunk?
As in, like, when I got drunk, did I have a bad experiences, like my first drinking stuff?
Yeah, so like the first time you got properly drunk, did you end up getting that drunk and then just safely home and into bed? Or...
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, really? I was hoping for something far juicier than that.
No, I think mine are mostly like house party stuff. So I'd just like sleeping over and just like crash on a couch or whatever from there. Did have one where it was like my friend's like 16th birthday party, and it was like middle of winter and it was snowing. And like, have you ever made Skittle vodka?
I've not, but I've been in a room when people have.
Yeah, so the idea is you split up the different Skittles in colour and put them in different bottles so they have like a flavour. Well, the people that made this didn't know that you split up the colours and just poured a whole bag of Skittles into some vodka. So it kind of... You know when Play-Doh goes that like awful brown colour? Yeah, that's what the colour of the vodka.
Nice.
And then everybody that had that vodka was violently sick. So there was... I saw one person... coming up the stairs, and each they were like crawling up, and each step they took, they vomited on the step, and then next step they vomited on that step, and then just all the way up they're just vomiting on each step until they got to the bathroom. And then we had one guy, he just went missing for like 2 hours, so he was not in the house anymore. He was like out, and it was literally snow.
Yeah, but he had the thickest alcohol jacket on.
Yeah. Well, what actually happened was he took his sleeping bag with him, and he was just like in a bush for ages, and we were contemplating ringing the police because it was so cold. And basically, I just saw him walking down the road with this like sodden sleeping bag, and I was like, "Where have you been?" And he was like, "Oh, I just needed a nap." And he'd just gone and slept on the bush, and it was soaking wet. We had to like change him, but he was like so drunk.
That's awful.
Yeah, so that was kind of like then the first time I kind of got drunk properly. It was a bit of a wild one.
My first time I got drunk, like properly was my 16th birthday, but it was the same day that we left school.
Ooh.
So it was like
Double whammy.
Yeah, we went in. I think it was went in school day as normal, but then we were there for like 2 hours. So we were let out about 11 o'clock after like a leavers assembly, and everyone signed the shirts and all that. And then everyone just went to the same park like down the road. And one of my friends had bought with him. It was like a 2-liter like drinking bottle of water, but filled with vodka. So me and him just split this for the whole day. And me not knowing any of my limits with drinking, just thought, drink it like, I don't know, like, I think the only thing I'd had before was like cider. So I was just trying to drink it like a normal drink, not realizing that it'd be best to dilute it with something.
Wait, so you were drinking like pints worth of vodka?
Yeah.
Just like, I'm just going to chug this.
Wow.
Yeah,
it wasn't like in one go. We were probably, I think I got home we left that park and went to a different park. Maybe like 7 o'clock. So we just drunk that between the two of us from then until 7. So however much that would have been, about 1 litre each, roughly. And the day was nice. I remember getting very drunk, but then when I got home, my mum didn't know. I mean, I'm sure she could have guessed that I was out drinking. But I got back and I kind of had to like compose myself before going through the door. Went in, had the shortest conversation I possibly could with her because I was really, really drunk and could barely stand up. So, and the worst thing was the next day I had a retake of my science GCSE. So, said goodbye to my mum, said good night, I'm going to bed. Went up and spoke to my sister and said to her, I was like, I can barely stand up. Like, can you just keep mum away from me while I like get ready for bed? And I think I went back down because I was like, I need water. So I was like, get some water. Said goodnight to my mum again. And she didn't suspect anything at this point, and I found out afterwards that she didn't know I was drunk, which I'm really impressed with.
Does that just mean that when you're sober, you just stumble around like a drunk man anyway? He's just his normal self.
Yeah, I don't know what that says about me. But my stairs in my house that I grew up in, they kind of go up and then turn a corner and then go up again.
Yeah.
I got to the first bit of up and then fell backwards down the stairs with my mum at the base of the stairs. And I couldn't really keep it together at that point that I was not drunk and I was found out.
Did you hurt yourself?
I don't think I did, actually. I think, you know, when you're drunk and you're just kind of like loose and just floppy.
I think if you go pure ragdoll.
Then you just ragdoll down the stairs. But the next morning was the most brutal thing I've ever... Because I had to get up super early when we, still went to school and go to this science retake, which I think was... It was at 9, and I didn't know that a hangover was going to happen. And it would have been better if my mum hadn't discovered that I was drunk, because she would have just thought I was ill, and I might have got away with it. But she was annoyed at me because she knew how hungover I was going to be. And I just remember I finished the science exam as fast as I possibly could, and then just sat with my head in my hands, and like I think I napped through most of the rest of it.
How did you do on the exam?
Well, I got a B in my science, and I feel like that must have been from the retake because I retook it for a reason. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I got a B from it.
Well, there is the idea that you if you remember stuff in the system you were doing it in, so say you did all your revising while drunk, then the idea is you like
get drunk to do the exam.
And you do better. So
well, I definitely was drunk through most of my school lessons, so maybe that's why. No,
selling vodka on the schoolyard.
Yeah. So I've not been able to touch vodka since to this day.
Wow.
Like, it's because I know that a lot of people say like, oh, it's kind of a tasteless drink. Like you can mix it with stuff and it's kind of
gone.
It is like the sharpest tasting thing. I don't know if it's because I had a bad experience with it, but if that's mixed in with like a pint of Coke, it cuts through like a knife. Like
wow.
I can't stand it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. I don't blame you. I think the only thing I had similar to that was like I just drank too much Sambuca. And Sambuca has a very distinctive taste and smell.
Yeah.
So that put me off that for quite a long time.
Yeah. I think the majority of like shot like drinks by nature don't taste great.
You know, I think Jaeger tastes alright.
Yeah, I say that. I quite like tequila as well.
Yeah, tequila's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like the Sava in town.
Another good bar.
It's very good for tequila shots. That's really good. I enjoy
I say good bar. It's got a charm. It's probably not a great bar.
It's a dive bar.
Yeah.
But it does what it says on the tin. It sells tequila.
I heard, and I'm doubting this because I've not been able to find any evidence of it. Did someone die in Sava from falling off the top, like balcony bit upstairs?
Oh, I've not heard anything about this.
Because someone told me this, and like they didn't have any reason to lie, and it was shut for like a while, and then reopened, and I'm sure it was because someone died in there, and they had to obviously like rebuild a load of stuff and make sure it was safe for. Because, you know, you did kind of like stairs that go up. I'm sure it was like just at that top level.
Yeah, because there was a balcony that looked kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't have surprised me.
No. I'm sorry if no one died in there, but yeah.
I'm also sorry if someone
I'm
did
also
die.
sorry. No, that was said wrong. I'm sorry if someone died in there. I'm sorry for putting their name in the gutter. It's
Besmirching them.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It's a bad dream. So, I've got one from the other day, basically.
How long ago?
No, so it's a story about alcohol, but it's not me getting drunk.
Oh, I was going to say, I didn't know when you would have got that drunk in the last time
got
since
crazy. And basically, like, because I go to work and I start work at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I have people coming in, like, just before work. And I was outside bringing the delivery in. And I see these two guys just crack open a can.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, it's just like a Coke or something. And I look over and it's a Cosmopolitan and a Mojito. And this is at like 7 o'clock in the morning.
Do you reckon they were still going from the night before?
No, because they were wearing high-vis jackets.
Oh.
As in this was, they're going to work.
Oh, I completely misunderstood that.
Yeah, no. So it's not like we've been out all night. We're going to keep on going.
Or maybe they did. Maybe they'd been out all night and they were like, high-vis jacket on, straight from the club. Let's get started.
No, I'm just thinking, God, that's not a life to live, is it?
Do you think it was a case of they didn't read the label? And because if it was like a Cosmo in a can, they're kind of like bright-coloured, nice-looking labels. Maybe they just thought it was...
Maybe. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
My nan did that to us when we were kids. What was the drink?
She wore a high-vis jacket to a shop and bought alcohol.
No. She thought that an alcoholic drink was non-alcoholic and fed it to me and my cousin.
Okay.
Fed? Is that the right word?
Like force feed, like a funnel just down your throat.
So, I don't know what it was, but it was an orange liqueur.
Okay.
Of some sort. I don't know what brand. But she, like, not a pint of, but a glass of orange juice is what she thought she was giving us. But it was an orange liqueur. So again, like vodka, it would have ideally been diluted and mixed in with something. But me and my cousin downed the whole thing like you do when you're a kid. You just kind of quick drink and then run back off to play. And apparently we got, like, weird. Like, we were really hyper, and we were just pissed out of our heads. Like, I think we were probably, like, around 10 or a bit younger. And, yeah, when my parents came to pick me up, they were like, what on earth has happened to him? And they were like, what have you given him? And she was like, oh, well, you know, I gave him orange juice, I gave him this. And they were like, what was the orange juice? I don't know why they kind of wish she was known for this, but they were like, let's check it. And yeah, she's given us
just
a load
like
of
some 20% stuff that you just downed. God.
So it's possible. They could have mixed up their drink.
Just trying to put up with you, just get you a little bit drunk.
It was intentional.
Hopefully it'll fall
really.
to sleep. You know, it's like people give, you know, like a nip of whiskey to a baby to put them to sleep. Is this to get rid of a 10-year-old?
Give them the whole bottle.
Just a whole bottle of like orange liqueur.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, I've got another... I don't even know why I'm saying this. It's not good on me. The first time that I would have kind of... It was when I worked at TGI still, and when you're working in like a restaurant and a bar, there's that kind of culture of people going out a lot afterwards, and it was someone's leaving do, so we went out and did like a bar crawl around the town that we were in. And it was the first time I'd properly been out, so I kind of felt obligated to... I don't know why I thought this was the thing to do, but drink quickly, like kind of look like I'm not falling behind, because I would have been like just 18 and most people there were like in their 20s. So I was like, I didn't want to look like the weak one. So I was just downing pints like as quick as I possibly could. And managed to make it through most of the night. And then around midnight, I think, I was like, I need to go home. I was feeling a little worse for wear. And my girlfriend was with me, and she was like, right, let's get you home. So we got a taxi. On the way back, she could see I was going to be sick, and she was like, okay, let's pull over. Didn't pull over in time. I think I managed to kind of get it out the window, but it was one of those things where a bit of it went out the window, bit of it went inside. I threw up in the taxi. So that wasn't a good starting point.
I'm sure the taxi driver was really happy about that.
Yeah, so I think she had to pay him loads and loads extra cleaning fee and all that. And then we got back, and then I proceeded to... My mum was up when we got back, which was annoying. So she saw me in that state as well. And
Again.
Apparently I was like complaining. I don't really remember most of this. Not that understandably.
Yeah.
But... they got me like a bucket, because obviously I was going to be sick. I think I threw up and filled the bucket up a certain amount.
I thought you meant like to the top. I was like,
and
God.
My mum went to go and like empty it, and I feel so bad saying all this on my mum and girlfriend now.
We'll apologise at the end.
Yeah, she went to go and clean that up. And while she was gone, I remember very specifically, she said to Gina, make sure none of this gets on our rug. It was like a long-haired rug. So if anything got on that, it would have been ruined. So while she's gone, I'm going to be sick again. And my girlfriend, because she's got this in her head of like, can't get it on the rug, she literally puts her hands out as I throw up. And it just goes all over her hands and everywhere. And I think she managed to block most of it from the rug, so... I am so sorry, Gina.
That is a credit there. I'm very impressed.
And she's still with me. Yeah. I don't know why.
I think that's like a bonding experience, if you're looking after someone that's like being violently sick. It's kind of
But it doesn't stop there.
Oh.
So we get through that ordeal.
Yeah.
And I stay sleeping on the sofa because Gina's going to have my bed, and obviously she's not want me there, which is fine.
She's gone upstairs with a sick in her hands.
So I must have sobered up a little bit during my... Let's say I slept for 2 hours to this next point. And I wake up again, and I can remember this, so I must have sobered up a bit. But I got up, and I was like, I'm going to be sick again. So I was in the lounge downstairs, and the only toilet's upstairs. So I was like, I'm not going to make it. I need to be quick. And I was still really drunk. And I can remember this bit, because I was like... clambering for the door, but I overshot the door towards like the wall, and I was just kind of like flailing at the wall where there's obviously no door, and then can't find the door and was like, what the hell am I trapped in this like room with no doors? Throw up all over the wall, all over me, all over the floor. And then this is the part where it gets a bit hazy, but I know this happened because we've got proof for afterwards. So I'm like, okay, I need to clean this up somehow. And in my drunk mind, I'm like, the best way to do this without anyone finding out is to vacuum it up. So I clean it myself, and the wall,
with
I
the
think,
vacuum.
as best as I can. Not with the vacuum.
Just like holding it against yourself.
And then vacuum up all of the sick.
Okay.
How I'm still vomiting things at this point is beyond me.
That's impressive.
Clean that up anyway. Put it away, go to sleep. All is good in the world until maybe a week later when my mum comes to do the vacuuming.
Oh, God.
And she starts, and then obviously like after like 30 seconds, the smell of just like rotting vomit that's now heated up from the vacuum going fills the room, and she's like, what the hell is going on? And then that's the point where...
She kicked you out.
That's why I'm now in Liverpool. No. But, oh God, what a terrible idea.
God. Your mum's put up with you, hasn't she?
I know. I mean, I'd like to think in the span of my life, I've not done too much awful that's impacted her, so... Yeah, that's not great, though.
No, I don't think I've... I think generally when I was at home, all of my drinking experience was either I was staying at someone else's house, or I never came really back to mine drunk.
No.
So, like a lot of my friends lived in a different town to me.
Yeah.
So I was in somewhere else. So I was quite lucky. Although I have had experiences. So for New Year's, my street would have like a New Year's party.
Yeah.
So like every year, someone would host it. And then when I was, I think, 15, going on 16, it was our turn to host it. Mm-hmm. So we had the whole street round, and Mum and Dad were like, "Oh, you invite some friends round as well." So I got my group of friends for when I was like 16 to all come round, and we've shoved in one room, and my parents and all their friends are kind of in the kitchen, and having a boogie and a dance. And my parents and their friends can become quite rowdy and wild when they're drunk, and this particular year, there was one woman who became increasingly rowdy, and started conversing with us a lot. She came over and started talking to us, and as the night went on, she began dancing over me as I'm kind of pinned against the couch. So she tries to do a kind of sexy dance while I'm trapped, looking at all my friends who are finding this hilarious.
Can you just quickly, how old is she and how old are you?
So I was 16 and she was maybe 45. She's got a kid that was only a couple of years younger than me.
Okay.
So she was having a great time. Mm-hmm. I, on the other hand, was not.
Were you not?
So I look over to my friend and like giving them like, help me please. And one of my friends has got control of the music and he starts playing Barry White.
Oh, okay.
And so they're really going for it. They're really over me, and basically I'm starting panicking at this point, and I basically push her off, having none of it. Push me back down and starts dancing.
Oh
over
my
me.
God!
Yes. So, and then I think eventually she got ushered home.
A responsible adult came along and said, "That's enough of that."
James, show me on the doll where she danced over you. Oh. Yes. So I had a very uncomfortable New Year's Eve there, and I still. I'm still not happy with my friend for putting on Barry White as I'm getting harassed.
I, on the other hand, am very happy to put on Barry White. Oh God!
So that's I don't think they've come to a party since then.
No.
I think they've been
barred.
Barred
from the whole street. Yeah. She moved out after
that. But she did have a stripper pole put into her house.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and then another story that's probably more relating to me being a bit drunk and being a bit silly is I used to, where I live now is cyclable into town.
Yeah.
But like getting if you're gonna stay past the last train, then you either have to walk or get a taxi. And getting a taxi can be quite expensive.
Yeah.
So I used to cycle into town, take my helmet with me, tie my helmet up and go there. And then, once I was quite inebriated, I would then have to cycle home at maybe 2-3 in the morning, which on a couple of occasions caused me to have a quick acceleration towards the ground.
Yeah.
So going through Chinatown, you've got a couple of speed bumps there. And I hit the brakes too hard going over a speed bump and went arse over tit and basically
You must have hit the brakes so hard.
Basically, I think what was happening was I was trying to do my jacket up, so I'm able to cycle without using my hands.
Yeah.
And I was going through Chinatown and not realize and forgot basically there were speed bumps.
Yeah.
And at the last second, I realised there were speed bumps. Went to grab the handlebars.
So just completely overcompensated.
Clung onto the brakes. My front wheel just hit the speed bump and just stopped. But I carried on going over it, and kind of rescued myself afterwards. My bike was in a little bit of a state, but it was cyclable home. Thankfully.
See, when I first met you and kind of didn't know you that well, I think I heard iterations of this story at different points in the night from your girlfriend and from yourself, and I just had this picture that you constantly were cycling around drunk and just crashed all the time. Because I think I heard this story in like kind of different ways, like 6 or 7 times, when it's actually only happened a couple.
Yeah.
But it just, in this picture in my head, you were just like pissed and cycling
everywhere
every day.
That's the only time I cycle is when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Which is, and I'll commute to work cycling, so it's very fun. No, and then the other one was, I basically took a curb too sharply, caught my front wheel, and just kind of like my bike and me were just on my side. But this was like really like early in the morning, as in like it was so late at night for me that it was it's basically by the gym, and I was coming in and someone was pulling into the gym to like work out, and they would like, they rolled down the window and like, "You all right, mate?" And I'm like, yeah. And basically I thought it was all right until the next morning when I woke up and I'd definitely cracked my rib. Like I went to the bathroom to evacuate myself, and I've just like pushed, and my ribs just screamed at me. Yeah, it was horrific.
That's what you want in the morning.
Yeah. So,
dearie me.
No, that's having alcohol is fun. The after effects of alcohol is not great.
Not so
hungover.
fun.
I'm sorry to be disgusting now, but the shits afterwards, like the beer shits, are just terrible.
Not fun.
Not fun.
Yeah.
My worst experience with this.
Where's this going?
Oh, we'll find out.
We're going all the way.
Is basically I went on a night out, and usually I went out with some friends I played football with, and generally I can, when I'm getting drunk, I stop buying myself drinks.
Yeah.
Which often means that I stop drinking, but not always. So if I end up with someone who's going to buy me a drink, then I can end up very drunk. And basically I got chatted up by these girls, and they were like buying me drinks, and I ended up very drunk, and ended up going back to one of theirs. And I like woke up in the morning and had absolutely no idea where I was. I like woke up in this bed, I'm like, no idea who this person was next to me, no idea where I was in the world. But the one thing I did know, when I was desperate for the toilet. so I basically jump out of bed, like open a door. It's a cupboard, right? I'm not going.
Yep.
I don't go in the cupboard.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
That story could have ended very differently. Found another one. It was the actual toilet, but it's en suite.
Yeah.
So I'm in there. So she's maybe 2 meters away, and I am just destroying this toilet. Oh god, it was horrific. And then I thought, okay, maybe she didn't hear anything. Maybe we're okay. Maybe it's fine. Maybe she's just asleep. I come out, she's on her phone. So she knows. I know that she knows that I've just destroyed there. Yeah. So I gracefully closed the door behind me. And while I was there, I worked out what her name was because I'd added her on Snapchat.
Okay, good. So you didn't have to ask her.
I didn't have to awkwardly ask her what her name was. And then I basically politely said I need to leave. I left and realised I was like on the docks and I was miles away from home, and I was just like, okay, now I've got to walk home. So I had to walk like half an hour home. It was not a great
that was
experience.
a lovely trip.
I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
But I didn't have to cycle. It was all good.
Well, that's an upside, because you'd have probably crashed.
I probably would have fallen over, yeah.
Oh, dear. I'm trying to think of any other good stories. Well, we took a man home who we found who was too drunk. Not to our home. We found his
Bake
home.
him into some cookies.
It was New Year's, maybe like 4 years ago, and me and my girlfriend left this house party just after midnight, not thinking about how hard it'd be to get a taxi just after midnight on New Year's.
Yeah.
So we were like, it's not too far. It was maybe like 20-30 minute walk. We'll walk it. And on the way, we found this guy who was just about standing up, kind of near a tree, but he was like, you know, when he's swaying and you can see they're about to go, and we were like, okay, let's just check on him, see if he's all right. He was definitely not all right. Like we couldn't talk to him because he wasn't able to talk.
Gosh.
Like we managed to get lines out of him somewhere, like about his name, but we couldn't hear what his name was, and we were like, where do you live? And he couldn't really get that out. So we were like, okay, let's get him in a taxi, because like leaving a guy on his own, like he could have definitely just like passed out and just stayed in the cold for however long. We were like, let's try and get him home. So it was even harder to get a taxi for him because when we eventually tried to flag a couple down, they wouldn't take him because
He was so drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we managed to get one and get him into the taxi, and we couldn't like get an address out of him, but he could point. So we were getting him to kind of like vaguely point in the way he was going.
Were you in the car with him?
Yeah, we got him with him because we were like, that was the condition of the taxi driver. He was like, I'll take him, but only if you two are with him. So we're like, okay. We could have ended up ages away. I don't know why we did this, but I just felt bad for the guy at this point. I felt like responsible if we woke up in the morning and found like 40-year-old man dead in a gutter. I'd have been like, oh God, we could have saved him.
Maybe you did save a life that day, Ben.
Maybe. Yeah. But at some point he just kind of like gestured to stop and then got out the taxi. I think he contributed like a tenner to the taxi. Like we expected we'd have to pay it, and then watched him stumble into his house and never heard from him again. Who knows?
What a hero you are, Ben.
I'm just such a nice person, aren't I?
You did rob his wallet though, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. No. I can't think of any other like horrific stories that I've done, which is good really, because the one that I've already told is pretty bad. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Hey, would you say you're a big drinker now? Have you drunk the same you always have? Or now we've graduated, are you maturing?
I think maybe my first year of uni was quite heavy, and then my third year of uni was quite heavy.
Yeah. You had a year to recover in between.
Yeah. No, basically, when I became single, it's when I just drank the most. Yeah. Not in a like a I'm drinking my sorrows away. Yeah. But I just went out all the time. Because I don't know, that's what single people did.
Yeah.
So that's what I went and did. But no, I don't drink that much.
No.
And I don't think I ever drank so much anyway. What about yourself?
I think when I kind of could drink for the first time, I think I went hard with it, and then have toned down gradually. Mm-hmm. I think it took me far too long to discover my limits on where I should stop. Because I think I was quite like regimented around like kind of teenage years around up to when I would be drinking. Like I did a lot of training when I used to like cycle like and race a bit. So then when I stopped that, I was like, I'll have everything that I want, like food and drink and
Going a bit wild.
But no, I'm like this last year I've stopped a lot because I did drink a lot. Because obviously when I'm gigging, like most of the places will give me free drinks.
Yeah.
And they'll like encourage it. Like as soon as they see the glass is empty, like a pint will be there waiting. So on like an average weekend, say it was a Saturday and I was doing 3 gigs back to back, I'd get home and realise I'd easily had like 9 or 10 pints without kind of really thinking about it. And like the end of last year, it was one of those nights and I got back and I realised I wasn't really feeling drunk, even though I'd had like 8 pints. So I was like, I need to change that. So then this year I've not really drunk that much at all.
Here's something for you that we might want to cut out if you don't want to talk about it, but like you have lost a lot of weight recently. Mm-hmm. Do you think that cutting down on the alcohol has helped you there? And do you think that gaining that weight came from the alcohol?
I'd say bit of both. Well, like I said, like when I was kind of like through most of my teenage years, I did cycling as a sport. Like I raced a lot and a lot of training, so I didn't have any alcohol, anything bad really. So then when I stopped that, I think I just went all out for the next 7 years until recently. I think it was a combination because I decided to start doing a sport again. Like I took up running. I just basically ate healthy and cut out all the alcohol, and it was everything really, not just the alcohol. But that I think definitely a lot of that weight was put on from alcohol. Yeah, I'm not exaggerating when I'd say I was drinking every day of the week and then when I was gigging, I was drinking 8 pints plus, which that's like crazy. I wasn't getting like hammered every night, but that's worrying. Like that's why it was bad.
Yeah, I think it's good to recognise that in yourself. Do you know what I mean? Where you can see that it's causing an issue. I think that's the problem with alcohol. Mm-hmm. We'll come down to a serious note. I think that's the problem with alcohol. Is that some people don't know their limits. They take it too far, and it becomes like a dependency.
Definitely.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, like it never became a thing of like I didn't feel like I couldn't play music like live without drinking, but it just became like the normal thing. I think when I just started seeing it as a normal thing, that's when it was bad. Like, I wish I'd stopped drinking that much like a couple of years ago now, rather than just, not good. Anyway, moving on from serious note.
Yeah, no, but congrats on the weight loss. How much is it now? A couple stone?
It's 3.
3 stone.
3 and a bit stone.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I saw like a photo of you that kind of like on Facebook, and Annie I was like, holy cow, you've lost so much weight.
I like barely recognize myself on some of the photos now.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, no, I'm proud. It's good. Like, thanks. Like when I look back to like when we first met.
Yeah.
Like I was like, maybe it wasn't really that big. But then, like, when I look at pictures that I've seen, I was like, wow, you...
I think that's the most worrying thing. It's like, I didn't realize how big I'd got.
Yeah.
Until looking back on it now.
Yeah.
Like, because I made like a before and after cliche photo.
Yeah.
I'm not posting it, I just kind of kept it for myself. But, like, the before photo, like, I was genuinely like, that must be a bad picture because I was never that big. But I think I was just that big.
Yeah. It's weird how it like kind of creeps up on you.
Yeah. I think it's all that kind of denial feeling of like, oh, if I find myself getting to a point where, you know, I'm overweight, I'll be able to stop.
Yeah.
But like I passed that by huge amounts and still thought it was fine.
I know, like when I was younger, I'd like put on a load of weight and then kind of lost it to like 16, and then I've done like cycles. I've put on weight and then lost it, and put on weight and lost it. So it's kind of like. It's not an easy thing to control. No, I think, or it's easy to control, but it's hard to recognize.
Yeah, definitely.
What's going on? I think when you're in your own situation, you can't have a better perspective.
See it. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, alcohol.
It's good for things, but not great.
Not great for others. Have we got anything? I thought I'd have more funny stories about being drunk than I do. I think there's probably more, but I can't think of them now.
Yeah.
Right, I think that's it.
Yep.
Cool. Until next time, you can find us in all the usual places at www.twosheepinapool.com. That'll take you to all of our podcast links on Spotify, iTunes, all the rest of it.
Twitter, Facebook, Reddit. We now have a subreddit.
We're everywhere.
And
you can find us there.
Comment there if you want.
Yeah, email us at bar, that's BAA, like a sheep, at twosheepinapool.com, or the contact form on our website. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
I hear there's someone who wants to fight me over my comments on DC, so...
We might talk about that.
Email me. Come at me.
Well, thank you very much. I've been James.
I've been Ben.
And this has been Two Sheep in a Pool.
See you later.